Good morning, everybody. Pleased to be here with Representative Jake Johnson, by members of the Governor's Advisory Committee on the Recovery of Western North Carolina, and the Director of Grow NC, Matt Calabria. I want to thank Claire Neal and the Manna Food Bank for hosting us today, but more importantly, for the critical work they're doing to keep our neighbors healthy and well. We all know that the people of Western North Carolina suffered tremendously since Helene swept through. Lives lost, homes damaged, businesses struggling, infrastructure destroyed. The folks out here have rallied to help each other, neighbor helping neighbor, and it has been truly inspiring for all of us to watch. But the extent of the damage, nearly $60 billion, is much more than the people of Western North Carolina can bear. FEMA and the federal government will reimburse us for some of the recovery work, but there are some things that the federal government won't pay for and that the people of Western North Carolina need now. That's why I'm asking the General Assembly for just over $1 billion, $1,070,000, to support the immediate rebuilding needs here in Western North Carolina. These funds are urgently needed. There will be an additional appropriation request later in the year for the traditional biennial budget that happens in July. But these are high priority funds needed in the first and second quarter of this year so that people can get their lives back together. If we do not act, some businesses will not be here in the summer, and we will miss an entire building season before the winter weather comes again in 2025. We cannot miss an entire year of construction. The funds will go to several immediate priorities. First, ensuring that our economy is ready to bounce back for the summertime, particularly when the tourists come back to the region. Two of the most important revenue months of the year for Western North Carolina businesses, especially in tourism, are October and December. October was a near total loss, and December generated just a fraction of the revenue it generally does. It's too early to understand the full economic impact of Hurricane Helene. Hotels, though, can give us an indication. Buncombe County hotel sales were down 74% in October and 57% in November compared to the year before. What we know is that after a major disaster, 43% of small businesses never reopen. We do not want that to happen here in Western North Carolina, and we can take action to prevent that. We cannot let this be our story. Our ambition is to help businesses survive the first 2 quarters of this year so they can open their doors to customers come the summer. If we fail to act, many businesses will not survive these slow, cold months, and what these entrepreneurs have built will be lost, and the employees will be out of a job. Taking on additional business debt is simply not the answer for small businesses that are already struggling. So I'm proposing grants for businesses that suffered physical damage or significant economic loss as a result of Helene, as well as grants to small towns and counties so that they can rebuild their downtowns and make critical economic development investments. This past Friday, I was up in Boone, joined with Dogwood Health Trust to stand up a small business grant program for those that were affected. Small businesses can seek grants up to $50,000 to help them survive until the summer, but we're anticipating applications far in excess of the $30 million that Dogwood and the state have put up. We must invest in the small businesses of Western North Carolina to make sure that the economy comes back stronger than ever before. Supporting the economy obviously includes supporting our farmers. They need help restoring their land, recovering from verified uninsured losses to crops, and clearing debris to prevent future wildfires like the wildfire that hit McDowell County last week. I'm proposing that the state step up to fund these efforts because the success of our farmers is critical to our overall economic success. We cannot allow the disaster of the hurricane to be compounded by the disaster of wildfires. Next, we need to make sure that people have a safe place to live. This has been a priority since day one of my administration with our temporary travel trailer program. But these temporary trailers and hotel rooms are not the permanent solution. People need stability. They need permanence. They need their homes back. That's why I'm requesting funds to create a Helene home reconstruction and repair program, incentivize more affordable housing, and help people who've lost their jobs pay for their mortgages and rent. With these funds, people can get to assessing the critical integrity of their homes, hiring contractors, and paying for building supplies. These investments will help us get people into their homes safely and in the long run. We cannot wait. If we do not get these funds deployed as soon as possible, we will miss the building season of 2024, and an entire year of recovery efforts will be lost. As we're rebuilding, we must also repair our infrastructure. That means private roads and bridges, septic systems, backup power generators, and more. Last but not least, we must support our children and families. Hurricane Helene stopped school, some places for weeks. Students missed critical instructional time. So I'm requesting funds for a summer learning program for students who missed a significant amount of instructional time, tuition support for students at Western North Carolina universities, and food bank contributions for families in need for supporting organizations just like the one we are standing in today. That way we can ensure that our students are set up for long-term academic success. All of these components are necessary to building a safer, stronger, and more resilient Western North Carolina, and they are needed now. This recovery is going to take a long time, and my administration is in this for the long haul. I know that the legislature is as well. I thank the General Assembly for what it has done so far, but now is the time for us to jumpstart this rebuilding effort. I urge the General Assembly to pass this budget so the state can get about the business of helping people rebuild now.